I'd like to call to order the Village of Beverly Hills Council meeting for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Ms. Brown, if you could please call roll.
Mr. O'Gorman? Mr. Abood?
Here.
Mr. Drummond?
Here.
Mr. George? Ms. Rajewsko?
Here.
Ms. Cascometti?
Here.
Mr. Mercer?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. If I could ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Oh, he's up too.
I think Brian's out.
I don't know.
We do that before or after you read the agenda?
Do it.
Do you want me to just do it real quick?
Yeah, we do it now.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to move that we excuse Mr. George from tonight's meeting as he is out of town. Support.
I have a motion from Ms. Rajewsko and support from Ms. Cascometti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Do we have any amendments to the agenda or the approved agenda tonight, or a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
At this time, I'd like to move that we approve the agenda as published.
Support.
I got a motion with support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and now we can go on to community announcements. If there's anyone from the community who would wish to come to the podium to make an announcement, now would be your time. Okay, seeing none, we'll close community announcements and move to public comments. If there's anyone from the public who would like to make a comment, please approach the podium, name and street, please.
Ooh. Karen Gilbert Amherst. I probably will not be able to stay for this whole meeting, so I wanted to publicly thank and acknowledge Chief Arnold and his staff. Not only is this beautiful, but we also can see the results of a full staff with traffic stops, which have bounced from 43 in January to 214 in February. Again, I think the numbers speak for themselves, but just a little suggestion. There's a little dead-end street off of Pierce called Georgina. And if your gentlemen and ladies just park their car there, it could be any time during the day, but mostly during when they're drop off and pick up to Queen of Martyrs, you'll get them one after another running the red. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else have a public comment? Please, just name and street, please.
Denise Liberty, 20850 West 13 Mile Road. So I've been now before you guys for the last 2.5 years when all this sidewalk stuff, and each time that I come and I actually say something, because I haven't been like a thorn in your side, I've been very patient, and you have said that you would provide a written documentation that we will not be held responsible on 13 Mile Road for the sidewalk cleanup during the snow and salting, that was part of some grant that we were going to be within this, because for most of 13 Mile, you guys do that. And I was told that over and over again, but I have yet to see anything written to that regard. And now next week, we're going to have like another sidewalk meeting, and I want to know, when can I expect to see this in writing, and why won't anybody talk to me about this? Like, I've come, they've taken my phone number down, I wait. I mean, I have a life too, and this isn't the top of mind thing, but like, how long does a resident have to wait to get an answer? Or is it just you're going to pull the rug out from the residents who think that you're going to do this because you've said you were going to do this because it was included? Like, I'm trying to be trusting, but I don't know what to do next. So I would like to know, are you aware that this is being, I mean, even the engineer guy who said, oh, yeah, that's going to be, haven't seen anything. It's just a nod and write your name down, and then I don't hear anything. 2.5 years.
Thank you. Mr. Jusco.
It is a requirement under the TAP grant that we must, and in order for us to even apply, we have to acknowledge that we must manage the sidewalk cleanup. They do not give us.
So why not put it in writing to let the residents know so we can be like, okay, this really is true? Because in this day and age, without proof, people say and do anything to get away with anything, right? And so we just want some reassurances
I'll
to
make
that
sure
fact.
that administration follows.
Can that come next Tuesday? Like, can you have that?
I believe that it's part of the grant, so it'll probably be.
I mean, that's what they said last time, and then they said, yep, we will get you that, and I got nothing. So
Okay.
it would just be nice to know that the residents on 13 Mile Road will be covered for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Mercer.
Sorry, my mic's not on. If I could make a couple of comments and maybe ask a question on this. Your property does not have sidewalks yet, correct? Sure, that'd be great.
Correct. Right now, it does not.
You are in the section that is down past Groves.
Yeah, across the street from that
Lot.
church.
Okay. That's, I want to make sure we're talking about the right part of 13 Mile, because some of
Yes.
13 Mile is not covered, which we did on the east side of the village, east of Southfield. Those are not covered under the TAP grant. Those are the responsibility of the homeowners, just like my house on the street I'm on, responsible for me to clear my sidewalks, covered under an ordinance to do that. As part of the TAP grant, for these new sidewalks, that has to be covered as part of the TAP grant. That has to be covered. That is in writing, okay? Bear with me here. That is in writing. Maybe they have not shown that to you or sent that to you. We have discussed that at this council table numerous times over the last year and 3 months that I've been on council. So I honestly, truly believe that that is going to happen, not because of some dream of mine, but because I've seen it in writing as part of the TAP grant. I'm sure that our village manager is going to reach out to you or have someone on his staff reach out to you and discuss that with you. I'm sure they can provide something that is in the TAP grant that says that.
Well, I would love to get that. My family has owned that house since 1973, and so I get, when you move into a neighborhood that has sidewalks, like I lived in Royal Oak for 20 years and had to shovel sidewalks. I get that, but it hasn't been a part of our being in Beverly Hills, so if that can happen, which name do I call if I don't get that in the next week? Like, who do I contact?
There's no sidewalks there right now. Okay?
Correct.
So it really doesn't matter if you have it in the next week, the next month, or the next.
I just want it before they start digging up my yard and putting a sidewalk there.
It's out there. We've already got it, so we'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Warren, could you make that happen?
Yeah, we'll have something together for our public meeting next week. I'll make sure that that's a talking point, and then whatever the appropriate mechanism is of communicating and memorializing it, we can absolutely do.
Appreciate that.
I just had and I'll talk on my manager report, we just had our kickoff meeting yesterday for the project, so.
Right.
A lot of moving parts, all starting at once. But it's definitely not something we've forgotten about.
And there's a meeting on that next
Week from today.
Tuesday,
7
right?
o'clock
We'll
here.
talk about that again later tonight, too, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Anyone else have public comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comments here at 7:09 PM and move on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda, we have item number 1 to approve January 15th, 2026 Parks and Council minutes. Approve January 28th, 2026 Planning Council minutes. Number 3, to approve the January 31st, 2026 council minutes. Number 4, to approve the February 3rd, 2026 council minutes. Number 5, to review and file bills recapped as of March 2nd, 2026. Number 6, to receive Planning Commission 2025 annual report and 2026 work plan. Number 7, to review and consider a request to waive pavilion rental fee for the annual 6th SOS 5K event. Number 8, to review and consider a request to waive the pavilion rental fee for the annual ITP Pump It Up for Platelet Walk. Number 9, to review and consider a request to waive the pavilion rental fee for the Berkshire Proud Dad Club's
chili cook-off. Number 10, review and consider requests to waive the pavilion rental fee for the Beverly Hills Little League Opening Day celebration. Number 11, approve the resolution decertifying streets. And number 12, approve changes to the village's schedule of fees, general office, water, sewer services.
At this time, be it resolved that the Village Council of the Village of Beverly Hills approve the consent agenda as read.
Support.
I have a motion from Ms. Rodriguez and support from Mrs. Cascometti. Ms. Brown, if you could please take roll.
Mr. Abud?
Yes.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Cascometti? Yes. Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. On to our business agenda for tonight. Number 1, the public hearing and confirmation of Southfield Road Business Assessment District. Mr. Rothi.
Yes, this is an annual item for us. We incur costs for maintenance and beautification in the Southfield Road Business District. The costs are shared amongst the properties based on the calculated area, and we add a 10% administration fee. The total amount for this 2025 cost, which we recover in 2026, $3,262.27. Before you adopt the resolution, we have to open, hold, and then close a public hearing. Happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Okay, at this point in time, at 7:11 PM, we can open the public hearing to discuss the confirmation of the Southfield Road Business Assessment District. Do you have anyone who would like to make any comments on this? Okay, we can close the public hearing and open up to council comments, if anyone has any council comments. Mr. Abud.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. We do this every year, so I get that. But I was just wondering about when you're traveling from Beverly Road to 13 Mile Road, that whole right side going into all the shopping centers is in dismay, as far as I know. Is that going to be something we're going to be looking at soon?
Yeah, I would say with the word soon, we're working on the Beverly Southfield intersection study, and that is informed in part by the road commission having the reconstruction of that whole road set for a few years into the future. And I know there's a few particular concrete patching areas that need to be done and that you're likely referring to.
Right.
That we're actually looking at right now, being able to do some of those this year. I don't have all the info in front of me. It's definitely
Just for my own benefit, I just want to make sure that, we have eye on that. So that's all.
Yep.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Abud. Anyone else have some comments on the Southfield Road Business Assessment District? Or care to make a motion?
You want me to read the resolution?
Sure.
Be it resolved that the Southfield Road Business District incurred the following costs for 2020, I'm reading the right one, right? Okay, just want to make sure before I went through all that. For 2025, maintenance, $2,965.70, and electric costs for Beverly Hills Grill of $265.55. In addition, each property incurred a 10% administrative fee totaling $296.57. Therefore, the Village of Beverly Hill Council confirms the Village Business District assessment roll for the 2025 season in the total amount of $3,262.27 as follows. Beverly Hills Racquet Club, $745.63. 31535 Southfield Road LLC, $291.48. Beverly Hills Grill, $395.85. CG Holdings LLC, $213.43. Emile Salon, $208.42. Taco Bell, $252.22. Rama World Wild and Development, $406.56. And J&D Carmo Real Estate LLC, $749.68.
Support.
I do have one quick thing here. We do have a motion with support. I did just have a question about Goddard School, noticing that they're not on there. Are they out of that district, or are they
Tax exempt. Tax exempt, I believe.
Oh, they're
They're
tax
school.
exempt for the
They're
school.
school, so they believe they're tax exempt, correct?
These aren't taxes per se, they're
No,
likely
they're
out of
an
the area.
assessment.
Without having last year's
Okay.
information, I'm not, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm guessing,
They-
I don't think it
They
goes
may be
down.
out of that area because there's also that other that business there.
Yeah, and they may,
could
perhaps they
that's
put their
not
own
on there.
irrigation in too, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll notice our irrigation wasn't functioning, which is why the charges were 0 this year. At the very least, the meter was broken, so we couldn't do any of that this year.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Trusko and
Support.
support from Ms. Cascometti. Ms. Brown, if you could please take roll.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Ms. Rojusco?
Yes.
Ms. Kescometti?
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Vu?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much. Next item on tonight's agenda is the public hearing and resolution concerning a community development bank block grant application for a master plan and zoning ordinance rewrite. Ms. Stack?
Good evening, all. As you are aware, we are out for an RFP right now to update our master plan and overhaul our zoning ordinance as part of a 2-year process. In having a meeting with our RRC liaison, redevelopment readies community, liaison, she strongly encouraged us to apply for the CDBG disaster recovery grant. It's a 2-component process. The bulk of the funds are allocated towards communities that were impacted by the 2023 tornadoes, so a little bit further away from us. But there is a set aside of about $1.5 million for communities to undertake some resiliency planning. And going through and having that conversation with her, our project really hits a lot of their marks, right? They want master plans. They have a focus on stormwater and resiliency. One of the requirements for the master plan is that there's also a zoning ordinance. Check, check. You got to have an updated zoning ordinance adopted as part of these grant funds. It also would allow us to incorporate our economic development strategy with those transition zones that we are also going to be looking at with the master plan update. So this really seems to hit a bunch of those highs that we're looking for. I have reached out to the individuals that are responsible for this particular program, and they seem pretty excited about a pending application from us. So this is just one of the attachments. Required attachments is authorization from this body saying, yes, please go for the funds. We anticipate that we are requesting about $200,000 in CDBG-DR funds. I am expecting that will provide us with more than sufficient funds to really have a fantastic master plan and zoning ordinance and allow us to maybe pick up a couple extra ordinances that we may need or find necessary after going through these processes.
And no local match requirement.
No local match. All grant funds.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stack. At this point, I can open the public hearing to discuss this. So if there's anyone from the public who would like to make comments on this item, please feel free to approach the podium. Okay. Seeing none, I can close the public comment period at 7:19 and open up for council comments and discussion. Mr. Mercer.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions on this. One, do we know when we would hear back from this, how long that this request would take to answer?
The application packet says within 60 days. They've expressed to me that it would be much sooner than that. And they are aware of the timelines that we're currently working with, and I think that was one of the things that was appealing to them.
It's first come, first
Yeah,
served.
first come, first
amount of
served,
money.
though.
So they accept applications as they come in.
It's been open for about a month, so.
And when you say first come, first served, they still would approve it. I mean, this says they would still have to review it and approve it and
Correct.
deem it something that they want to send funds to us for.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And again, we envision this will cross probably 2 calendar years from start to finish, kind of first year more master plan, heavy, second year more zoning ordinance. So again, and we do have the RFP document out right now. It's live. It closes March 11th, I think. We've informed them that, hey, we saw this pot of money that we could use. We have the RFP out. Is that okay? They said yes. So we're checking those boxes too before we put in the application. And, we don't want to get denied because we started too early or anything. So working on that as well.
Mr. Chair, thank you.
Mr. Booth, go ahead.
I noticed that the housing studies and plans, can you tell me a little bit more about how we would use part of that 200,000 for the house study and plans?
Sure, sorry, I meant to touch on that as well, so thank you. One of the new requirements for our master plan is that we incorporate housing strategy, have a robust chapter dedicated to identifying what our housing stock is, where are our needs, and what are some of the best ways that we can incorporate those needs into the plan and ultimately into the zoning ordinance. So again, this is just another layer that we would be able to say, yes, we are hitting this mark for your grant funds.
And also being compliant with the state law.
Correct.
That says we have to look at housing. Every community's look at housing is obviously going to look different. We're a very much fully developed community, so we're not going to, our housing section will be lighter than Southfield's, for example.
Which is a big deal in the state legislature right
Yes,
now anyway. They're
it
voting
is.
on all that, so.
Yep.
And I don't know if affordable housing is part of that plan or not. Okay. It just depends, right?
That will be a detail that comes out as we go through the master plan process. There are some requirements that, within these funds that say, you can't discriminate, which okay, we can be on board with not discriminating, right? But I see this as falling in neatly with what we're trying to achieve with our master plan.
Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Anyone else have any comments? Care to make a motion?
I've got the resolution.
Or resolution,
Yep.
I apologize, yeah.
Start with the now therefore.
I can do this, Andy.
Starting now, therefore.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Beverly Hills hereby designates the Planning and Economic Development Director as the Environmental Review Certifying Officer, the person authorized to certify the Michigan CDBG DR application, the person authorized to sign the grant agreement and pay requests, and the person authorized to execute any additional documents required to carry out and complete the grant.
Support.
I have support from, I'm sorry, the resolution from Ms. Cascometti, support from Mr. O'Gorman. Ms. Brown, if you could please take roll.
Ms. Rojusco?
Yes.
Ms. Cascometti?
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Abu?
Yes.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much. On to item number 3 on tonight's agenda, to review and consider Smith Group Wenbrook Park Master Plan Proposal.
Yes, I'll take this one. At our joint Parks and Council meeting back in January, we talked about, and the study session as well with council, we talked about wanting to begin developing a vision for what we're currently calling Wenbrook Park. At the meeting in January with the Parks Board, I think there was consensus that the council and the Parks Board was pleased with the work that Smith Group had done for the Beverly Park 2050 plan, and we were instructed to go ahead and get a proposal from Smith Group for review. So we did that. I appreciate the help of Parks Board member Ross, who helped me with this in speaking with Smith Group. We brought this proposal to the Parks Board meeting, which was last week or 2 weeks ago. I think January.
The 19th.
Yep, the 19th, thanks, Carissa. And the Parks Board did vote to recommend that council consider approving this scope of work from Smith Group. There are 3 phases in developing the plan. Phase 1 includes the site building assessments, review of existing utilities, seeing what the code and code requirements, including ADA, that apply to, both the property and the building, the structure as a whole. They're going to start engaging with the Parks and Recreation Board and make sure that they're capturing what the vision is and kind of having a conversation, get that started. Phase 2 focuses on concept development and community engagement. Again, that's kind of your textbook engagement where we have a few different options to let the community come in and weigh in, give feedback on which of the options they prefer. And then phase 3 and the final phase is, again, just the preparation of the final documents, the plan itself, the floor plan, site master plan, opinion of probable costs. We could use these costs and ideas as part of future grant applications to any program. DNR program comes to mind first, first and foremost. This is professional services. It would require, we do have actually, they said if they give an authorization, they're looking at maybe a 90-day turnaround time for everything. So that would, instead of bleeding into next fiscal year, like we kind of talked about, we could get it all done this fiscal year. We do have $20,000 for consulting services in this year's parks budget. The total cost of this is a not-to-exceed fee of $29,500. So at this time, if the council chooses to move forward with Smith Group as part of the resolution, there's a subpart that just authorizes the necessary budget amendments to that account. So we don't have to come back later. We can just get the budget amended as we go. Happy to answer additional questions you may have, or if Member Hadrusko wants to talk about the just conversation at the Parks Board meeting too, whatever, however the council would like to proceed.
Thank you. Who wants to start? I see a hand. Yeah.
I just wanted to refresh my memory, and maybe Mr. Jusko knows too, but we had committed a certain amount of money to Beverly Green, is that right? And we received a grant approval for Beverly Green, is that also right? Am I remembering wrong?
Yep,
Yeah,
$250,000.
that was like 250,000, and we were budgeting like for this year 100,000 or something like that?
Yes.
So all in all, net, this cost is relative to that incremental funding that we're going to receive as part of a grant is
Yeah, we're doing some
very,
other,
very
some other fun
doable.
things.
Okay, this isn't, to me, that's a big win that may enable something like this.
Yeah.
more.
And I'll talk more about that grant in my manager report later
Okay.
too. Yeah.
I just wanted to double check on that my memory was correct, so thank you. And I think the stuff the Smith Group did for Beverly Park was great, and I think this would be a great opportunity. They were the ones who did,
Yeah. And just piggybacking on this, I think it's important that this 20,000 I mentioned, now hopefully 29.5, is not the Parks Millage Fund. This is just the Parks Department budget in the general fund. It had consulting services in there already for plans and studies, so we're not touching any of the money that the Parks Millage generates for park improvements with this.
infrastructure and improvement, yeah.
Yep. The money you talked about Beverly Green, that's in the Parks Infrastructure Millage Fund.
Right. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
net, as
Yeah.
far as funds are concerned, this is, I think
course.
this is, you could call it extra money we have because of the great millage we got, or the great grant we got. So, no, I support, I don't know if Mr. Jusko had something.
I mean, I think that most of the conversation with the Parks Committee was, number one, just wanting to make sure that we have a plan moving forward and something to show the public as far as what, we want the Wenbrook space to look like and how we want it to serve the community. Everyone felt like working with Smith Group for the Beverly Park plan was easy and that they were very open to making adjustments and having the questions answered of how is this space going to work for the community. And since this is a space that is new to that area of Beverly Hills, the Parks Board really felt like the community engagement for folks on that side of town is really, really important to make sure that, they finally have a walkable park, and so what do they want to see at this park that they'll hopefully be walking to daily? And so just because of the past, wonderful interactions that we had with them, and I think the first time around, they weren't necessarily the lowest bidder, but they were the most involved bidder and gave us the vision that we were hoping to see with Beverly Park, that we want to have that mesh with our other parks as well. And so that was really why they were excited to recommend the Smith Group for this project as well.
Go ahead, Mr. Gorman.
Comment or follow on that. This does include, when I was reading through, I was just rereading it, this does include a workshop with the community.
Yes.
So I think that was key in the last Beverly Park, the future of it. So I think that's, and it's not limited to people who live locally, it's the whole
Right,
community.
100%. Yep.
Mr. Abud?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, please.
Sure? Thank you. There's a neighboring community that has discussed Wenbrook with me personally and asked, we're looking for park space as well. Would we entertain anything where we can get a neighboring community to get involved with us and share that park and offset some of our costs ultimately when we move forward? Just something I'm throwing out there for everybody to think about, that's all.
I was just going to offer a resolution, but I'm not trying to end discussion. So please.
I just have a question. If somebody at the council table here could tell me, or Mr. Rothy, what did we pay for the study for Beverly Park, that plan? I wasn't on the council and I don't remember.
I think I emailed that to you in the last few weeks. Let me see if I can find it real
Might have
quick.
done that too.
Otherwise, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think
We had discussed it in, hold on.
It's okay.
No, I didn't.
I have a recollection, but I don't.
25 to 28,000, I think is what it was.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this was pretty close.
But in-
If I could add, Mr. Mercer, I think some of that is the evaluation of the building on site, which we
Yes.
didn't have to do for Beverly Park.
Right. Yeah, I saw the phases, the three pieces, so, okay. Yeah. My concern in asking that question is, it's a professional service, I get it, and I'm okay with this. I think it needs to be done. But I think in the end, even if Smith Group wins a bid in the future, I think we need to try to think about bidding some of this work out, just to make sure that we're getting a good comparison. I think Smith Group would probably win it anyway, but that's my concern going forward. Not really tonight, but in the future.
Anyone else have anything? Personally, I'd like to just open this up for public comment unless anyone has any concerns with that. But if anyone from the public has any comments they'd like to make on this item? Or online? Okay. Seeing none, I believe, Ms. Cascometti, you had a motion ready to go?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Drummond. Please be it resolved, the Beverly Hills Village Council hereby approves the proposal from Smith Group for preparation of the Wenbrook Park Master Plan in the amount of $29,500, and the village manager is authorized to execute the professional services agreement with Smith Group on behalf of the village. Be it further resolved, the Beverly Hills Village Council authorizes the finance director to amend the FY26 Parks Department budget and increase account number 101-751-801.00 in the amount of $9,500 to provide sufficient appropriations for this contract.
Support.
I have a resolution from Ms. Cascometti with support from Ms. Rodriguez. Mrs. Brown, if you could please take roll.
Ms. Cascometti?
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes.
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Abud?
Yes.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you very much. On to item number 4, setting a date for the the fiscal year 2027 budget study session.
Yes, so in looking at last year's calendar, again, council had discussed and scheduled the budget meeting just before I arrived on the scene, for better or worse. And the council typically also adopts the budget at the first council meeting of May. That's what historically has been done. In order to meet that timeline, as April and the Mondays start a little bit later, we start April on Wednesday versus a Tuesday, I'm thinking the best day to do the budget workshop would be the 14th of April. That is a Tuesday. I would say 7 p.m. as usual. So that would be kind of 3 weeks of meetings in a row, the 7th regular council, the 14th, and then the 21st regular council. We could, if the board wants to, we could just reschedule the regular meeting on the 21st for the 14th, and you still do the budget workshop then. That's just an idea. We don't have to do it. But either way, I did speak with, because I know he's not here, President George, and he was good with the 14th as a meeting date. So just want you all to review your calendars and select a date. I don't want to do the budget meeting any later than then that week theoretically, so we can meet our first council meeting of a day, May adoption. Last time we had a little bit more time between the budget meeting because it was on the 20th, but again, just as the days fall, I want to have enough turnaround time in case there's changes that we want to make.
14th works all right for me.
Excuse me, you said 7 PM?
Yeah, it could be any time, but 7 PM I assume would be the most desirable time.
I'm good with the 14th.
Good with 14th.
How about you?
Works for me.
Can I just ask, Mr. Dorothy, what did you say about replacing the meeting? I mean, why not do this on the 7th? And because were you talking about, you said something about reschedule the meeting on the 21st?
I was just saying, instead of having 3 meetings in a row, we could just move the 21st up a week to be on the 14th, and that would be our regular council meeting, but as part of that agenda would be the budget, presentation overview. It would just be a way of having 2 meetings instead of 3. We certainly can do 3. I just wanted to throw that out there. Per charter, I have to give you the budget at the first council meeting of April, which is why we can't. I want to give you the budget, and with April 7th, we don't even know our final taxable value numbers yet, likely. Those usually come around mid-April, so, but closer to mid-April or later for the budget workshop, the better.
Okay, that makes sense. I was trying to understand why we wouldn't replace the first meeting.
No,
Give us
it
more
was 'cause I
time,
need-
but
yep.
that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's fine. We can meet 3 times.
That was easy.
Everyone good with
How
14th?
did that happen?
Speak now.
Never that easy.
Speak now, or we'll see you on the 14th.
Be it resolved that the Beverly Hills Village Council will hold a budget study session in Village Hall at 7 PM on April 14th, 2026.
Support.
I'm going to give this one to Mr. O'Gorman. I think he got
Yeah.
you by just a scratching of a second. That's right. Got a motion from Mr. Mercer with support from Mr. O'Gorman. Ms. Brown, if you could please take roll.
Mr. Mercer?
Yes?
Mr. O'Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Abud?
No, I'm kidding, yes.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Ms. Rojusco?
Yes.
Ms. Cascametti?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to get my calendar,
Right,
otherwise
so
it
we don't
doesn't count.
forget.
Just comment on that. I think that is the same night as the Southfield Township meeting, but that happens.
Our budget's bigger.
I thought theirs was March 10th.
There's March, but I think their April meeting will be on the 14th.
Oh.
Because I think they're always the second Tuesday. I think their meeting is always between our 2
Yeah,
meetings.
and school board, I think, is the same time.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So it happens. There's conflicts like that, but.
All right, moving on, tonight's agenda, public comments. Do we have anyone in the public who wants to make a round of comments here at the end of the meeting? Go ahead, sir. It's Damon, street address, or street.
Paul Prentice, Lincolnshire, 30101 Lincolnshire. I had 3 things. I couldn't find any information in the past meeting minutes. One, Southfield and Farmington Hills is doing a deer cull. We've had a lot of issues with our vegetation, our trees, our arborvitaes. You probably know more about deer car accidents. Is the village plan on doing anything about that situation? That's one of the things I wanted to bring up. And then I couldn't find out any update on the sidewalk issue. Specifically from 13 Mile west of Lasher. And then the third thing is High Bank Road in the Georgetown subdivision is in terrible shape. I don't know if that's budgeted for any road reconstruction. So, those are some items I wanted to bring up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments tonight? Okay, we can close our second public comment and move on to the manager's report.
A decent amount of updates tonight, bear with me. The Arity Dam community meeting I heard was essentially standing room only. Appreciate everybody who came out to that. I know a lot of council members were there as well. We have posted that in the presentation online. As that project advances, we'll keep updating that page on the website. Continuing on with community information meetings, a week from today, 7 o'clock in this room, will be the community information meeting on the TAP sidewalk project. Anybody is welcome. It is geared for those who live specifically in the project area and are going to have their properties impacted. But again, everybody is welcome to come. A copy of the postcard is in my manager report that everybody was sent along the route. Yesterday, we did have the kickoff meeting for that project, so we're working on getting a final schedule, but I think they're going to start right with all the retaining wall stuff, so we can make sure we get the vegetation planted before the state of Michigan bat ban, as I like to call it, would prohibit us from planting. I know those residents who had their trees and other things done, we want to restore that and not make them wait a whole another year, so that's first priority to work in those areas. As we've just established our budget workshop date, we're hard at work at budgeting. I've spent my first half of the day in budget meetings this morning alone. It's going well. I think the council will be pleased with the budget, and again, that'll be ready for your review at the first council meeting of April. I want to give a shout out to Director Johnston. We have been approved as a Tree City USA for the 3rd consecutive year, so we'll update the plaque there with another little marker as we have. So again, appreciate his work on that. We also, good news as far as grants go, we have secured a $250,000 or $250,000 grant through Representative Tlaib's office for improvements to Beverly Green. This is what Mr. O'Gorman alluded to earlier. Again, it's $250,000. We did have money set aside in this year's budget to do some improvements at Beverly Green. How this all works and interacts and what the timeline is with this funding, I don't have the details yet. I just do know that we have been awarded this funding. It's a similar program as the funding that we had for the Pierce water main, although that's administered through EPA. This grant would be administered through HUD. And just for, I don't know when I'm going to get more information on this, and just yet, just for context, Representative Tlaib, I believe, had 15 projects funded, and she's one of 435 representatives in Congress who likely have multiple projects that are pushed through the federal bureaucracy. So as soon as I know more, I'll gladly share, but I'm excited because it seems with that kind of funding, we should be able to make whatever, we'd like to do a reality. We have over 600 responses on our community survey for the Southfield and Beverly Road intersection study. We're closing that on March 6th, this Friday. So if you haven't taken it yet, please do. We're hiring seasonal laborers for DPW and Parks Services. So if you know anybody interested in a lot of, not blood, sweat, and tears, but maybe sweat, it's kind of work, please direct them to the village website where they can get an application. We're accepting applications for the Donald and Patricia Greening Community Service Scholarship. We have also just kind of a random thing, but DPW, we've obtained, you can't see them at night, but we've obtained new fuel tanks for instead of going and driving all of our cars to the local gas station, now we can fuel everything on site. It's much easier to track, which departments are filling up which vehicles when. It's 20-gallon-a-minute pump, so it fills up the vehicles pretty quickly. There was no cost for these tanks. We can buy in bulk, and we're getting a discount. We're thinking, not factoring on our new usage on our DPW in-house vehicles now, but we're thinking anywhere from 10 to 20,000 in fuel savings we'd be able to save by doing this. So shout out to DPW who took it upon themselves to do that. Also, speaking of saving money on vehicles, the Public Safety Department took delivery of, in my heart, it's the Cascometti Mobile. In my official documents, it's the Detective Bureau's new vehicle that was received on Friday. It has been sent to the upfitter for upfitting with the equipment. So again, it's our village's first ever hybrid vehicle. We have submitted revised plans to the DNR for review for rebidding the playground project. They're currently reviewing them now. I haven't gotten any comments back from the DNR, but expect that shortly. Probably by the time we have our next council meeting, it should be have their approval, I think. Tomorrow, residents can start or non-residents can start making pavilion reservations. We've had a ton of pavilion reservations so far this year. And then, this wasn't in my report, but I just found out about it and I didn't know if I thought there'd be public comment, there wasn't. A Birmingham Country Club we received notice in the mail about they're bringing forth the project with the pickleball courts for consideration at a future planning commission meeting. I believe it's March 16th. Again, I know some residents have gotten the mailings as well who live within. They've been in contact with me. One of them had a nice conversation with Director Streck earlier today. So again, this is just kind of hitting my desk as a few hours ago. So don't really have anything more to say, but again, just in light of, I know this has been an issue in the community in the past, I wanted to share that this evening. That concludes my report. Happy to answer questions you may have.
Ms. Esmani?
Thank you, Mr. Drummond. Thank you, Mr. Roth. I appreciate that comprehensive report. There's a lot going on. Just a couple questions. When does the next villager go out?
Very soon.
Very soon. Okay,
Yeah.
so already drafted? Too late for more content?
It's not too late for more content. We're hoping to finish it up this week.
Okay.
Get it mailed next week.
Okay. Going back to the conversation from the public comment we received in the beginning about the sidewalks. And I agree, and I think Mr. Mercer had a good point, right? The sidewalks are not in yet, so nobody has an obligation in front of them right now. But I think we have talked about being consistent on our mile roads and our busy roads, right? Not saying, well, those people that live on 13 Mile have to shovel their snow, but those people on 13 Mile don't, right? I thought we had talked about, at least conceptually, just agreeing as a village, we would do 13 Mile, 14 Mile, Southfield, Evergreen. Main walking paths, right? Are we ready to commit to that? Is that something that would be worthwhile writing up in the village? You're like, hey, we had this meeting on March 10th to talk about the sidewalk project. Here's the high level, sidewalks are coming, and let's explain how the maintenance of this is going to work. Would that be appropriate, or is that premature?
I think it's appropriate to communicate. I don't think it'll be in this villager necessarily, but going forward. And I know that conversation's been had before. I think I've been here. I know Director Johnston's aware of it. We've talked conceptually about how that would work, and what kind of snow removal policy we think of, we'd bring to, for council's blessing. So again, still, we'll fulfill the grant obligations, of course, and then we are aware of and want to be able to commit to doing a little bit, more.
Do we need to just follow up, if I could, would it be appropriate, should we amend our ordinance, right, that says a person who has property that abuts a public sidewalk is required to clear it? Should we be working on language to clarify that, to specify that does not apply to residents on the, because that's the most straightforward way to answer the resident's question, right? Is, well, here it says in your ordinance, you're not responsible for that.
That's definitely a path that I have thought about and considered. I haven't decided ultimately on what the final path will be. I figured with our new attorney, we'd review the actual requirements of the grant document themselves and figure out what we're being bound to, and then work out some type of policy/ordinance, or likely both, potentially. So yeah, definitely on the to-do list.
Okay, and then, is there anything planned in the villager for an update on the playground?
I can put something together.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that would be useful. We get a lot of inquiries on that project. It has certainly taken longer than anyone has wanted it to, and with more frustrations than any of us have wanted. And I think having a nice update or summary would be useful. And then if you could just humor me, what size are the fuel tanks? Like, how big are they?
I don't know.
Ballpark?
I'm not qualified to ballpark that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Abud?
Mr. Rothie, so just to be clear, because I've had a few questions on east of Southfield, the 13 Mile, the new sidewalks. Those are in the main thoroughway. Will those be shoveled as well? Is that what we're saying here?
Potentially.
Okay, thank you. I just don't want to tell them one thing and then they read another, so. Thank you.
If I understand, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I think existing sidewalks currently, if it's in front of your house, you have to shovel it, right? New sidewalks on the main roads, we're required to take care of, and so our plan was to extend that for
Only
consistency.
for the sidewalks installed by the TAP grant. The sidewalks installed on 13 Mile and other locations with safe routes. The village is under no obligation to do snow removal to those.
But it was our intention for consistency to develop a
Yeah.
practice of doing that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wasn't there for those conversations, but that's what I've been informed and told that was happened prior to me being here. So I think your memory's correct.
Well, that's impressive for once, so thank you.
But right now, just
Yes.
so everyone is aware, that is not the case for any snow that might come this winter or that came before.
We're done with snow.
Okay, I am done with snow, yes.
Let's just pretend like we're going to be done.
Yes, so, but that is not the case. You're
Correct, right.
responsible for your sidewalks
Right,
pretty much throughout the village right now because
Yes.
nothing on tap is in, so.
right.
Okay.
Thank
And
you for
it's
that clarification.
Good
Mr. Mercer.
citizens, everybody's doing that. I mean, that's what's happening, so.
That's all I've seen all winter, is clear sidewalks.
Can I ask a question if no one else has the floor right now?
Regarding manager's report?
Yes.
Sure, of course.
Okay. Where do we stand exactly on finishing up with command and that negotiation? When do you think that would be the case if we
It just started.
don't have any issues?
I spent the last 4 hours of today in session 2. I thought it went well. We have another session scheduled for next Wednesday. I don't know if we'll have something for the next council meeting, but perhaps April.
Okay.
But so far things are going well.
Right, it started like a month ago.
Yeah,
and
it
so,
started on whatever the second or Monday of February was, and we didn't meet again until
Okay.
like 4 hours ago.
Okay, and again, refresh my memory, I know you just talked about it, but what is the next plan for the playground? Where are we at? We've bid it out or we haven't bid it out?
We are going to rebid the installation work. We have also doing some site changes, removing the wood chips areas and increasing the percent of the project area covered by turf, and then doing like adjustments to the sidewalk walkways, the concrete walkways, to make sure that now that instead of going into wood chips, we're going to bring them flush with the turf. Those plans have been prepared by OHM. They've been submitted to, who's our prime professional on the project. They've been submitted to the DNR. I believe they were submitted last week, and they are currently under DNR review. The DNR reviews them and says, yep, we like these, you can go out for bid. We go out for bid. We receive the bids, we open the bids, we send the bids to the DNR, say, please, pretty please, we want this bidder, and they give us the authorization to proceed.
Okay, so just my takeaway is we're still in the process of getting everything finalized that the DNR will review, or they are kind of reviewing at the same time, and then once we get their blessing, we can go out for bid.
Correct.
So we're kind of still between us and the DNR.
Yes, yes. So we finished, after we talked at the Parks and Council Board meeting about the scope and preparing revised plans, we've prepared the revised plans. DNR has to review those revised plans before we can proceed with bidding. That's where we currently are.
Okay, thank you.
DNR give us a time frame by any chance, or any indication?
I'm hoping 2 weeks at most.
Okay, good to know.
Again, I'm hoping to have their approval to go out for bid before the next council meeting. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but they've made it seem like, which is March 17th, they made it seem like that's very doable.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments on tonight's manager's report? Okay, seeing none, we can move on to council comments. Mr. Mercer, you want to start us off?
Sure. A couple things. One, I thought I would at least comment on Mr. Apprentice's concerns or topics. We are not part of a call that's going to happen with those communities right now. We are looking at that. Obviously, that's fraught with a lot of issues that come with it, but we realize that. And we are looking at it. I don't know where that's going to go. We're not even really down the road on that for us. As far as the sidewalks, I think you have your answer. Next Tuesday would be a great time to come to Village Hall to hear about the 10th, March 10th. Next Tuesday is a meeting.
The public meeting on the
TAP
project.
grant, and that's the sidewalks that are going to go in that you're talking about down at the, kind of the west end of the village from, Evergreen, 13 Mile, Losser, that area, okay? And then I would think that Mr. Rothie has made a note to ask Neil about High Bank. I have no idea. I'm not in that subdivision that often, but if that's something that really concerns you also, maybe if you don't hear something, give a call to village office.
Yeah.
That's a great way to make sure they know where it is. And as we do our sessions and we plan a budget here in the next month or two, those roads that we're going to work on get in that budget, and that's how they get repaired then if they need to be repaired, either replaced or repaired. So, well, that helps, that does help. I mean, I'm sure Neil Johnston, our public works, supervisor could tell you, director, he could tell you kind of where that is. We have a plan for every road, and where it is. It's rated, so he could tell you where that stands on the needs and what our funding is.
He's who I should contact.
Oh, yeah, just call him, yeah. You can contact him, absolutely.
Come find me right after the meeting, too, because I think one of your neighbors emailed me on Friday about the same thing, so I want to connect.
And the final thing I would say tonight is, in the environment we're in, whether you like it or not, we pay taxes, and the federal government will sometimes give money back. And it's always great to see that even if it's $250,000, that we're getting $250,000 to go to community improvement in an area that not so long ago wasn't really that appealing. So I'm looking forward to that money. It's not necessarily free money. We did pay for it, but at least we're getting it back and it's not going to some other communities. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Mercer. Discuss committee.
No comments tonight. Thanks, Mr. Drummond.
Mr. O'Gorman.
No comments, thank you.
Mr. Drusko.
I have two quick things. I've had a lot of residents reach out to me in the past couple of weeks with concerns about our flock cameras. And I know that we all had a few reservations when we decided if we were going to go forward. But I would like to, if possible, have a policy that we can show to residents so that they can understand when those cameras are accessed, how we decide who outside of our community is allowed to access them, just so that when they reach out to me and say, hey, I see these going up and I'm hearing about how they're being used in other communities, that we can assure them how we are using them in our community. I think that would ease some of the anxieties of some of the people that live here. And one other, on a much lighter note, not going to cry. This Friday, I am going to cry. This Friday, a very sweet 115-pound ginger that is a killer is going to be competing at the state finals for wrestling. And she's the only one that made it through from our community, and her mother is very proud of all of her hard work. And I wish all of the athletes that are competing over those 2 days at Ford Field safety and fun and sportsmanship. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you very much. Mr. Aboud.
Yeah, I have quite a bit, if you don't mind. This past Tuesday, and I'm going to read it verbatim just so I make sure I don't miss anything here, but there's a bipartisan group of dozens of Michigan local. There was a press conference on the 24th of February, and it's regarding opposing a statewide, and I'm sure Warren knows about this, opposing statewide zoning preemption legislation that has been introduced in the Michigan House of Representatives. If enacted, one-size-fits-all legislation would strip locally elected officials of their decision-making authority, dismiss years of community planning work, and amount to a clear override from Lansing on local voices and voter-backed decisions. State policies should uphold residents' priorities, provide flexibility that considers the diversity of Michigan's communities, and support zoning decisions consistent with infrastructure needs, robust economic growth, and public safety. Urge Michigan legislation to work in partnership with residents and local government rather than preempting local decision-making highlight the importance of state policies that uphold local priorities, provide flexibility that considers the diversity of Michigan's communities and support zoning decisions consistent with infrastructure needs, durable economic growth, and safety. So this House Bill 5529 through 5532, along with all this related legislation, the proposed legislation would significantly restrict local authority by preempting local decision-making on key zoning issues, including duplexes, accessory dwelling units, ADUs, who are very popular in California right now, minimum setback lot sizes, and dwelling unit sizes. I think it's really relevant that we pay attention to this because it's going to be coming down, and we want to be ready to kind of move forward with all this to be able to oppose this legislation. Speaking of SEMCOG, I'll be attending the General Assembly meeting on March 19th at the Icon in Detroit, where I'll get more information on this. As far as Michigan Municipal League, I'm hoping to attend a Capitol Conference in Lansing next Tuesday and Wednesday. Cable Board meeting on Wednesday, March 18th will take place, is that 7:45 a.m. still? All right. Next, planning to move the 400 Lincoln Street building. The city of Birmingham has approved the architect, as I reported last week, and they are currently working on the lease approval process. Senior Advisory Council, we are having a meeting in March in the next few weeks. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aboud. I myself have no comments tonight, so if anyone had a motion.
So moved.
A motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Support.
Support, thank you. Support. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.